2019 wasn't the best year in movies, but it did give us Avengers Endgame and the delightfully surprising Knives Out by Rian Johnson. 3 years later, we get to find out if Netflix made a wise investment locking down the 2 sequels. What's going on YouTube? My name is Jay Lee and I like a lot of stuff. Today I'm talking about one of my most anticipated movies this year, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. I simply can't dive into this movie without first gushing about the original movie. I scored that one a 9.5 out of 10 on Instagram when it came out, but it definitely scores a 10 in my heart. And no, not just because of Ana de Armas, although she is very wonderful in that movie. The first Knives Out was so good, in fact, that Netflix wasted no time jumping on the rights to Johnson doing 2 sequels, which brings us to this video. I managed to watch this movie during its limited theatrical release on November 24th, but it will start streaming on Netflix just before Christmas. And, well, I freaking loved it. From the jump, this movie is just brimming with character, humor, and wit. I have to say, for as much hate as Rian Johnson gets for messing with the Star Wars formula and trying to dismantle the sequel trilogy, he really does have a knack for the modern murder mystery. The first film set me on a path to experience a genre I have so little prior knowledge of. I'd never seen Clue, I've only read one Agatha Christie novel back in junior high, yet all of a sudden, Knives Out made me want to experience the classic whodunit genre in all its glory. However, I did find that Hercule Poirot just didn't hold a candle to Benoit Blanc in today's cinematic landscape. The famed French detective, played rather entertainingly by Kenneth Branagh, just didn't captivate nor amuse me the same way Daniel Craig crushes this hilarious southern sleuth character. Glass Onion begins interestingly enough with the real-life pandemic messing with the lives of a brand new cast of characters. None are more inconvenienced than the first film's brilliant detective, Benoit Blanc, who seems to be losing his marbles, being locked away from the world and away from all the mysteries and cases that need solving. It's a silly, cheeky little gag that made for a fun way to incorporate the real world into this film. The film's version of COVID-19 is a bit of a caricature of itself, but so are the new characters. Each new face is played brilliantly by a stellar cast, creating a cartoonish veneer mirroring some of modern society's notable influencers. Led by Edward Norton as an eccentric billionaire, Hollywood regulars Kate Hudson, Kathryn Hahn, and David Bautista lend their comedic chops to an ensemble of Twitch streamers, scientists, and political figures. Janelle Monáe is a standout as a bit of an outcast in the group of old friends, but all the performances were top-notch, especially Daniel Craig with his
Kentucky Fried Foghorn Leghorn drawl.
I may have heard the accent slip a little bit at the end, but Craig seems very comfortable slipping back into this character. In this movie, he's much more out of his element being amongst these crazy rich folk, indicating he's got a much more modest home life, and watching him awkwardly navigate the surroundings was a joy. The mystery itself is also quite brilliantly executed, with a narrative that jumps around a bit, but because non-linear storytelling is so commonplace in this genre, it doesn't feel jumbled when the film takes you back to look at previous scenes from a different angle or vantage point. Something to note about Glass Onion is that it doesn't have the luxury of surprise as the first film did. When Knives Out reveals the murder and its killer so early on, it turned the genre on its head by answering the question who done it at the beginning of the movie. It was clever, it was original, and it kept me completely engaged throughout. The sequel comes pre-packaged with the expectation that it needs to follow up the original, but can't recycle the same recipe. I think Rian Johnson does an amazing job creating yet another mystery that's intricate and detailed enough to stand toe-to-toe with its predecessor. The group surrounding the murder this time around isn't as big as the family in Knives Out, but it doesn't feel limited by this. And taking place mostly on this rich asshole's Greek island, Glass Onion's stage somehow doesn't feel claustrophobic either. The lavish vacation home being on an island actually aids in creating tension and confined scenarios similar but much better executed than something like Death on the Nile or Orient Express. The musical score is something I also want to note because I don't know if it was a rendition of Moonlight Sonata that I was hearing or if it was just an homage, but it was so effective in creating moments of serious emotion amid all the ridiculous fun in this movie. Even if it's not as original, the sequel was just as clever and kept me just as engaged beginning to end. Knives Out was really special though, so I can't say that I like Glass Onion more, but it is close. Because of this, I'm giving Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, a 9.5 out of 10 as well. With the third movie already contracted, this is easily one of my new favorite franchise of films. I can't wait to continue watching Benoit Blanc tear up the murder mystery world for years to come. Until next time, come back soon to catch my thoughts on all the stuff I haven't talked about yet.